We are back. It is us. We're doing Nerd Talks again, season 2. I am DK. I am your host with the face you'll see the most. Jeez, it's been a while. And with me, as normal, as always, brother from the same mother, Ashton.
Howdy.
And we're back doing our thing. So we're talking all kinds of nerd stuff. Whether it's movies, TV shows, a lot of streaming stuff comes to mind offhand. We talk a lot of video games, talking tabletop games. That's whether we're rambling on about Dungeons and Dragons or some card games. We're kind of hitting the whole spectrum, and we'll talk about in depth in the lore of stuff and the history of how things came to be. But sometimes we take a step back and we look at situations and things surrounding projects that are out there, celebrities usually that are tied to those projects. I know there's a big writer strike going on right now, so that has delayed a lot of are expected to come projects. Yeah. So today, for our first episode back, we're just going to go over some of the stuff that we have not talked about. We took the summer off. It seemed at the time like it was probably the best thing for us to do, the easiest thing for us to do, probably. Just we didn't have that pressure. In the future, that may change, but for now, we're thinking up until summer, we'll run this season 2 back. So these first couple episodes, we're just going to be talking about stuff that has already happened, stuff that we've missed, and see where we are caught up, as the summer usually can offset a lot of people on, I would say, just things in general.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether it's your hobbies or not, just due to it being nice outside, mostly. So let's get into it. Let's start talking about these movies, because I think we've missed some movies, and then we'll probably get into the TV shows, because I think there's some TV shows that we probably haven't seen as well. I think the last time that we were...
Sorry.
I think the last time... just mute that if you're going to do that again. The last time we talked, we probably were on just coming off of like Dungeons and Dragons, the movie.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was March, in April. So we'll just go back and we'll talk about what has come out, and let's see if we've seen them. Let's see how caught up we are. So the MCU is a hot topic on our show, because it is a huge cornerstone for nerds. I believe it's one of the things that allowed the nerds to come out into the public, into the light, from hiding in our parents' basements, metaphorically or quite literally, to come out and be out there as these movies gained popularity, starting in 2008 with Iron Man, and here we are in 2023, and we are, some people may say, running into the ground, but I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 would say different. So have you seen it?
No. I haven't seen like the last
2
to 3 Marvel movies.
Okay.
I haven't seen Ant-Man either.
The second Ant-Man? Or the original Ant-Man?
3?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Ant-Man 3. Okay, yeah, so Ant-Man 3, yep, that came out last February. That was pretty good. It pushed our overall plot a little bit forward. So I would definitely make sure you put that on your watch list. The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and the Guardians of the Galaxy in general, usually don't push our plot too much forward. The first one kind of did, because it held an Infinity Stone. But the second one, not so much. It kind of added on to our roster of characters as far as Guardians go. And then we had the Christmas special. Did you see the Christmas special?
No.
They had those special presentations.
Oh, yeah, with whatever his name is.
What is his name?
Kevin
Bacon.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon. Yes. So you did see that? No, you didn't see that. Okay.
I seen the
Sure.
ads for.
You could watch it. It's
not relevant,
integral to the story. There's like a little lore drop in there, but nothing crazy or huge. But as far as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, again, it's not huge hitting the plot as far as relevant to what we would think our overall plot is. I mean, there obviously could be something that we don't know of, at the time.
Yeah.
But I would say it was a pretty good movie. It was weird. They kind of had like this body horror kind of thing going on. It wasn't like horror. The movie wasn't horror. It's a comedy movie, but you know what I mean. It's just like that. Yeah, it's just like that bio.
Yeah.
It's just like a kind of weird situation.
Just makes you just a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. There you go. That's the word. A little uncomfortable. It's a little unsettling when you're just kind of watching the movie. Just all this little bio-organic stuff that they got going on. Definitely interesting. The reviews for the movie seem to be decent as people watched it. I thought it was. I mean, I think most of the Marvel movies are pretty good, and everyone has their opinions, and some of the opinions for the last few movies haven't been great, but I don't know.
Are they gonna get out there and direct? No, they won't.
Well, right. And I think it's like, you go out and, someone makes you a really great burger, and they make you a really great burger, and they keep giving you all these really great burgers that are different kinds, and then you go home and you make yourself a burger, and maybe it's not quite the same, or you go out to a restaurant where the burgers aren't quite up to what you think. Maybe it's a Big Mac. It's still good. You're still eating it, right? But you're just used to those really good burgers. So now you think every burger needs to be those really good burgers. And that's not going to happen. That's just not possible. And I think that's the way with the Marvel movies. We went on a long run of just, we built up the hype in phase 3, where it was just like banger, 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 banger of a movie. And then it ended, and then we kind of have slowly like drifted around in these different stories. And now people are like, oh, these movies aren't, they're not as good, and maybe they're not, but I would say I watch a lot of movies, and I literally study video film in the storytelling aspects of these movies. So I'm looking for the camera angles, I'm looking for the storytelling, and how it kind of applies to the overall movie. And I would say most of these movies are still, pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't say there was a movie in the MCU so far that I just thought, wow, this is terrible. They're not all Captain America, Winter Soldier. They can't all be that. Okay, just top of the line stuff, but they're pretty good. So it's pretty good. I would watch it if you're trying to follow the MCU. It's definitely there. I wouldn't say very high up on the roll of movies, to kind of put out there. But if you got the time. And then another movie that came out, Marvel related, over the summer was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which
I haven't seen that either.
I have not seen this either, and people are saying this is like
really good,
the best Marvel movie essentially that has ever been released, and I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I also heard that there were 2 different endings depending on what theater you went to.
That I did hear as well, which is okay, sure,
trippy, but like if they release it on stream, then how are people going to be able to see that other ending then? Yeah.
What's the canonical one? Because there's another movie coming out after this.
Well, whatever one they put on the streaming service is probably going to be the actual one. Yeah, right. But then, what if I want to see the other one? I'd go to YouTube? I'm going to go to YouTube for that? No, Disney, I don't think you want me to go to YouTube for that.
Maybe. they've done this before.
I guess
not Spider-Man, but there was a movie Clue based on the board game Clue. Mm-hmm. And depending on where you were in the country, at what theater, they changed who the killer was in the movie.
That's so trippy.
Yeah.
You have to go through so much extra stuff just to make that happen.
So when it came home on video, it had its, canonical version. But when I watched it, I'm not super old, so I watched it on DVD like a normal person, a normal person in the 2000s, and they had every version on DVD.
Okay.
So you could just watch each of the endings. So we'll see. Maybe there will be an option. Maybe, I don't know who Sony is usually partnered up with as far as streaming releases.
Well, because that's what has me like really weirded out. Is because when I was here one day and I was on Disney Plus and I was like, why are the Spider-Man movies on here?
Oh yeah,
that caught me so off guard.
Yeah, they cut a deal over the summer to allow that. I think they wanted to do it earlier when No Way Home came out. Was that 2 years ago already? Or was that last summer or last Christmas No Way Home came out?
2 years ago, 2021.
Oh boy.
Well, yeah, I just told you the other day that I got a thing on Instagram that Andor was released a year ago, like a couple days ago.
That I can buy, but what for the MCU came out last winter then? The special presentation, but we always get a movie. Now I'm having a hard time. Ant-Man. February.
Did we get Thor, Love and Thunder last year? Or was that this year?
That was last year, but I thought that was not around winter. I thought that was earlier than that. That was like in the summer of last year.
Dude. There's too many damn movies.
Last movie we had Guardians of the Galaxy. Movie before that, Quantumania. What was the movie right before Quantumania? Oh, it was Wakanda. Wakanda Forever. Black Panther. Wakanda Forever. That must have been our late fall movie. Okay, wow. So yeah. Anyway, so some of those streaming services, they take a long time. They can take up to 18 months before contracts kind of end out, depending on kind of where they're at. So yeah, most of the Spider-Man movies currently, I think almost all of them, if not all of them, are currently listed on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think probably with the exception of the animated one.
The first Spider-Verse?
Yeah. I don't think that's on there.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of Sony's little treasure right now is the Spider-Man.
That's their cash cow at the moment.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this movie supposedly did really great. And I have not seen it.
Almost $700 million in box.
But it's definitely up there. The first one was really good. I really liked it. I like the aesthetic of it. It's not just CGI animated. It's
comic-y.
It looks like a comic book. There's weird things about it, and diving into that Spider-Verse that is there, which there's so many Spider-Man variant characters. Peter Parker and all of the ones that you've seen, which are super weird ones in the first Spider-Verse, but then you have
Peter Porker.
Yeah, those weird ones. But then you have I can't think of his first name. Something Riley. He's like a clone of Peter Parker. I'm pretty sure he shows up in the Across the Spider-Verse movie. Just those weird side variants. Spider-Woman. Not
Spider-Noir.
Not Spider-Gwen, but actual Spider-Woman. Madam Web is supposed to be getting a movie. I don't know if she appeared in the Spider-Verse. Assuming she did, because she kind of is the link to it all. But it was good. It was great.
Spider-Punk.
A bunch of the movie is filled.
Spot. I remember hearing all that weird shit about that dude.
The movie is filled with a bunch of Marvel people. Haley Steinfeld is new Hawkeye. Oscar Isaac is
she plays Gwen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big names in this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oscar Isaac, Haley Steinfeld, Jake Johnson, Donald Glover,
Yep.
Andy Samberg, I guess.
Spoiler. Okay, with a spoiler? Small spoiler, because you already said his name, so he's in the movie, right? Donald Glover. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You okay? If you don't like the spoiler, he's in the movie? Okay. But the thing about it, his scene in the movie is just him. Like, they put like an overlay over the top of him, but he's not like... It's not like a CGI character. It's like him interacting with CGI characters.
Yeah, well, because he has a name right here.
Yeah, he's Prowler. He's Aaron Jones.
Aaron Davis.
Oh, Aaron Davis.
I mean, I knew that. Because he shows up in one of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, he's in the first one, playing the same character.
Yeah, they have fucking Tobey Maguire's in this movie.
Oh yeah, he is.
Post Malone on here. They have.
Oh, that's weird. So yeah, pretty good.
Obviously, he's gonna be.
Definitely have to check it out. I've not seen it, so.
I don't know why I didn't think he would be in here. Caught me off guard. J.K. Simmons.
He's in all of them.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
That's why I was like, he's in this. I was like, oh, man, of course.
I'm pretty sure he's in all of them.
He is J. Jonah Jameson.
He's in all of them, other than the Amazing Spider-Man, maybe. I don't know if he's in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, because he's in the new Spider-Man. He's in Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies. He's doing like a internet news thing instead of his newspaper, because rising with the times. Let's keep moving on though, because we could talk about MCU all day and Marvel surrounding movies. So we had Transformers. They're trying to make another comeback. What's the last Transformer movie you've seen? 4?
Dark of the Moon.
5? That was... Is that 3?
That was the third movie, yeah.
Is that 3?
Yeah, that was the last one I seen.
Yeah.
And I love all 3 of them.
Yeah, the trilogy...
Everything after that.
The trilogy is... Let's just stop.
Let it die! Let it die!
Because then we got Mark Wahlberg. Mark
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg is cool. He's great. I enjoy most of the movies he's in, but I just don't think that we needed to do. We just didn't need to do the 4th and the 5th one. I think it was just
cool to make a Transformer movie if it was, with just the Transformers. Then I feel like it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like,
well, let's go back to Cybertron. Let's check this stuff out.
Can we get what actually happened here besides?
And then in 2018 they went back and did Bumblebee.
Yep, that I heard about.
Yeah, never seen it.
Never.
It's supposed to be a prequel to the first one, but is it really? I don't know how much canon they changed.
The reason I don't really believe that is because if you go to the first one and they discover the Transformers, they're like, what the fuck are these things?
Yeah.
And there's no way they didn't hear about this thing running around.
Well, in the government does know about, what do they call them? NB1 or something like that. Non-biological. Something like that. They had Megatron in the first movie, and so they knew about Transformers existing for a while. Anyway, now we got Rise of the Beasts. It's a crossover between Transformers Beast Wars and the kind of Transformers everyone knows. I used to watch Beast Wars when it was actually on TV when I was an actual child. And there was no trucks. It was strictly just animals. I don't even know, the lore or the canon of how that happened, or you know what I mean? How was there only animals? Well, why are the animals, and how is there only animals? Were the people and stuff in the show, but there wasn't any people. With the original Transformers, in the original movie, there was people. They were just on Earth. So yeah, I don't know. I think the Transformers look cool. The animal Transformers look cool, but I gotta be honest, I'll probably never see it. Probably always like to just touch briefly on Pixar because Pixar is dope. And they released a new movie, Elemental. I watched a chunk of it, but I never got to sit down and watch the whole thing. Looks pretty cool. It's like the 4 elements: earth, fire, air, water. I just did that in Avatar, right? In Avatar sequence. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. These like little floating elemental beings of the 4 elements living. Some kind of prejudice thing that's happening against stuff.
It seemed like a bunch of racist stuff going on.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. It was really based on like prejudice against
everyone sees fire and stuff.
Fire. Whoa. Yeah. Yep. And then what we're gonna take the next 5 to 10 minutes to talk about is The Flash. Have you seen it? You know.
Okay, let me tell you why I don't want to see it. Now, it's not because of the actor. It's not because it's supposed to be weird.
Go back to last season. We had a whole half episode talking about Ezra Miller.
Jesus. It's because if there is a little scene in there that has Nicolas Cage as Superman, as soon as I heard it say about that, I was like, nope, I'm done. I don't even care about this movie.
I actually really like that scene.
He's so ugly, dude. I can't stand it. He's so gross to look at.
He really is. Well, okay, it's not real him. First of all, a little story just on that snippet. Nicolas Cage never gave permission to use his likeness to use that piece. So what you're actually seeing is like a CGI version of him, like a AI generated. No, I shouldn't say AI generated. I don't want to go there. A CGI generated version of him.
Deepfake.
Yeah, basically. So it wasn't actually him that did it, but they used his likeness because if you don't know, Nicolas Cage at one point was going to be Superman for like some weird Superman movie before they did the
Man of Steel.
Before that one, before Brandon. Before the Brandon guy, who looks like Christopher Reeves, kind of, he took over. Superman Returns, I believe, is the movie.
Okay.
It came out early 2000s before they did this whole DC thing. Brandon Routh. He's actually he's Adam in Arrow. Oh, and then he later plays Superman.
I do like that guy. He's pretty cool.
In the verse when they do the crossovers and stuff.
In the 90s, Cage, a well-known comic book fan, had been set to play the Kryptonian superhero in Superman Lives, a film directed by Tim Burton and written by Kevin Smith.
Okay, so I can even tell you, just knowing that little bit of information, I can tell you exactly probably what happened. This isn't for facts. You can go do this research yourself. I'm not going to look it up because I don't care that much. But originally, in the first Superman movies, played by Christopher Reeve, who passed away, wasn't able to finish these movies or something like that. Superman is supposed to look like he dies at the end of one of the movies. Mm-hmm. So I can see what happened probably is that Tim Burton was already doing Batman movies in the 90s. He's the one who did the Batman movies after the first Batman. Go look at these movies. They're definitely Tim Burton movies. He did the second Batman and the third Batman, I believe. And so he probably also was going to do the Superman movie, and that's probably why it was Nicolas Cage, and he has long hair and he just looks a little weird just because Tim Burton was involved and has like these weird machinations about how the world of DC should look. You should just go back and watch these old Batman movies, but so he probably was going to do that, and then who knows what happened with the falling out of the movie. Nicolas Cage was going to do Superman Lives, and then Superman Returns instead became the actual movie that got put out. And it was a more serious version with Brandon Routh playing the same character before we got our total just white slate of DC movies. And then we got Batman Begins, and then that eventually turned into DC EU projects before we just got DCU.
It is sane because of one of my favorite movies ever made. Because of Mars Attacks wasn't a box office hit, so they were scared of Mars Attacks.
Another flop.
Yeah. That movie is so dumb, but it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those movies where when it came out, it's stupid as hell, but it becomes a cult classic, and everyone, you know. I don't want to watch it now, but
I would.
When I watched it, I was dying. I was probably too young to be watching, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" This dog walks out, and it's just like, I'm just like, "What am I even watching right now?"
The chick's head is attached to the dog's body. Dog's. When I first saw that, I was thinking, the dude's head is in a glass jar. What C-3PO shit is going on here?
Dude's head is in a glass jar. Yeah, this shit was wild. Anyway, dialing it back to The Flash. So The Flash came out in June. I'd go watch it. I didn't watch Justice League. I didn't watch Aquaman. I watched Shazam because it was kid friendly and I could put it on for kids. It's kind of just like
the last DC movie I watched was Black Adam.
It was a beat 'em up movie. I just tried to watch Black Adam last night and I fell asleep.
I enjoyed it.
It looked pretty good for what I've seen, but
I don't know. That movie's really teetering on the rated R part.
Yeah. The only thing they're missing is because there's no blood splatter. But there was several parts where I was just
dude, grabbed him, electrified him, and disintegrated him.
Well,
what the hell?
Yeah. The reason why I didn't get R, I'm thinking, is because there wasn't enough blood. Because there's one part where he throws a guy, and then they show the scene where the guy gets thrown off, and then they show come back to Dwayne, and he's just holding dude's arm. There's no blood though. If there was blood squirting out of the arm, R rating. Yeah. There was no blood squirting out, and that's how I knew. That's why I was like, okay.
Even though there'd be everywhere.
Dude. Yeah, for sure. Well, they want to keep it PG-13. So they can get more people in to watch their movies because they already have a hard time getting people to watch their movies the way it is. But yeah, the Flash was pretty good. If you enjoy the DC kind of just nonsensical beat 'em up situations, those really super high powered. The difference between DC and Marvel is that the Marvel high power stuff is just like still looks like when dude's shooting lasers and he like cuts something off with his lasers, mostly Vision I'm thinking of. I could also go get a laser and do that. But when you watch the DC movie and you're like watching these dudes, it's just like.
I was watching Black Adam and it's like yeah, like at least in DC, I mean at least in Marvel they're like somewhat defeatable. You're not defeating Black Adam. He smoked that whole team of superheroes, no problem, and he's just like. Yeah. Why are you even trying at this point? I'm literally a god. Yeah. You're not defeating me. I'm killing all of you.
Yeah.
Shazam too. I don't get how like you're not beating Shazam. Like
yeah.
Unless you're catching him lacking in his kid form, you're not beating him.
For sure.
He literally gets shot in the face and he's just like, "Oh, that's so cool, dude." Crack.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
That's their realm of superheroes, and I mean,
Superman.
I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them for it. It's cool. It's whatever. The Flash was good, and we didn't have any of those. Well, I guess there was some of those scenes like that.
They always underpower Flash. I'm just saying, Flash is just always underpowered. They just
I would watch the movie. I don't think he was that underpowered. He was slightly underpowered.
Well, just in like I'm just talking like. Everything.
Yeah.
Like he could like he's easily like gotta be like the scariest superhero.
For sure. He can do
like I was watching like stuff. You watch like the CW stuff.
Yeah, the Flash.
You see some real shit that the Flash can do in there. Whether Reverse Flash or any of these other Flash enemies.
Well, I think that's why how he kind of ended up leading the whole Arrowverse. After
because when they had the Reverse Flash in there, dude stabs him with his hand.
Yeah.
What the
what did he call it? A speed mirage?
Yeah.
Where he's like standing over there, but he's not actually over there. He's just moving so fast that his body is like. Yeah, shit's crazy. You should watch The Flash. You like The Flash? I think you should just watch it. It's a cool Flashpoint scenario. We get Michael Keaton, what is rated as one of the best Batman before we got all the other Batmans.
I like to call Grandpa Flash.
Batman, you mean?
No, Flash. The Flash that he plays?
No, Michael Keaton?
Yes.
Plays Batman, bro.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was... No. Okay, I didn't know. Okay.
Michael Keaton is one of the first people to play Batman in Batman movie.
Okay. No, I thought you were saying that he was playing a Flash.
No.
That's why I was...
No. He plays the character. What they did was a No Way Home scenario. They just went back to all of their old DC stuff and brought stuff forward. Michael Shannon is in it. He plays Zod. Yeah. So that's kind of what the movie is. It's just
I don't see him.
He's not in that. That's not his kind of movie. That's why you probably don't see him often. He's in stuff though that you've seen for sure. Pretty good. Indiana Jones came out. Seems like a flop as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any of them. It's not my cup of tea.
What? They released another Indiana Jones movie?
Yeah.
Isn't that dude like 70?
Yeah, I think he's really too...
I don't even think he wants to do it.
Apparently he did. I think he is too old to be doing it, but to each their own. Not my thing.
He said, "Oh, I can't be in a Star Wars movie. Let's go make another Indiana Jones."
Well, kind of though. I don't know. It's Lucasfilm still.
Yeah, I know.
There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, but it was more of like a kids movie and not really like a serious movie. Yeah. I kind of wish we would get a more serious movie.
Like the old ones.
Yeah.
I remember we used to have one of those on VHS.
That was the first one. Yeah, I love that movie. The original one.
I will say it did off-put me sometimes because the costumes were a little weird, but that was
because it was dudes in actual suits and not CGI players. I love that movie. It has to be still one of my favorite movies. It's just so good. Everything is super like down to earth. Everyone's super real. I mean, obviously there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which are not realistic, but just everything other than that was fantastic.
1990. That sound right?
For what? For Batman?
No, TM.
Oh, TMNT. Yeah, probably. There was 3 others that came out through the 90s.
I couldn't tell you a damn thing that happened in this movie though.
It's literally.
Isn't one of them like crying in a bathtub at some point?
Yeah, it's literally the original scenario of the TMNT. They're underground. No one knows about them. Raphael sneaking out to be a vigilante. He runs into what's her nuts. They become friends. She finds out about them. The Foot Clan is on the move, and yeah, they have to fight him. They fight Shredder, who doesn't look like a giant cyborg robot. He's just an actual samurai in a suit.
Yeah.
You know, down to earth kind of stuff. They meet Casey Jones is in the movie. Casey Jones is on fire. He's like a anti-hero, just like Raphael. He's like a vigilante, but he's just a human dude. He uses sports gear to fight.
Yep. Oh yeah, that I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they did. There's actually a okay kind of, I think, the cartoon from Nickelodeon.
There was a cartoon on Nickelodeon. They also came out with a movie a few years ago, and then there was a sequel to it. But those kind of, I think, flopped. They were real life, but they just like weren't. I don't know. They flopped. So.
I'm gonna be real true. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is something that I definitely forget about quite often.
I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I do too, but it's not something that's brought up like.
Injustice, they were like the one person I was like, I need to unlock the TMNT. I did too. They're really good. Blue Beetle came out. I haven't seen it.
Too.
Yeah, it's the first movie in our new DCU.
Ooh.
It's the first movie in the DCU.
So it may be good.
Yeah, it's by I shouldn't say it's by, but one of the producers is James Gunn. They're running it now. Him and the partner. I don't remember the partner's name. Sorry. But yeah. That came out. I didn't see it, but that is the first movie of the DCU, so we'll see. I don't know if it pertains to the Flashpoint happening
Peter Safran.
in resetting. I don't know if the Flashpoint resetted the DC universe. That could be a possibility because there's some weird things that happen in the movie, but
as long as they don't bring back
yeah, I don't think we are. I think we're kind of over him now. That was probably a contract that they had with no stipulation and wanted to complete their vision for what it was, so they did, and now it's done. So yeah, that's what we missed in movies. That took up a big chunk of our show, so we're going to probably get through the last few things here rather quickly. I think the other big thing is streaming. So there was a couple of shows. Some stuff in Disney Plus. Outside of Disney Plus, I don't think we had a whole lot of shows come out.
Well, not something you may have watched, but I watched the show called Ragnarok, which is the Thor-esque movie.
Yeah. It's like a show, right? Well, it's a show, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a reimagining telling of a Thor story.
Yeah. Yes and no. Ish. I don't know. They really go like off track sometimes. They're reincarnations of them. Okay. And they have to fight giants and.
This isn't Thor MCU Thor. This is Thor.
No. And actually,
real Thor.
He obviously gets Mjolnir, and one of the things. Okay, so you know how in MCU the big thing is you can't pick it up if you're not worthy, right? Mm-hmm. Well, in there, if you're like God being, you can pick it up. But there's a scene where dude goes to like a bad guy goes to throw the hammer instead of it flying, just kind of boom, fucking lands on the ground.
So can't use the powers.
Use the powers. But it's good until the ending, and then me and Phil weren't too happy with the ending.
So the show is like over now.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. I mean, there was like 3 seasons.
Oh. Okay.
3 seasons.
So just like a limited thing.
Yeah. Really good though. I do recommend it. I would watch it. If I could rewatch this thing again, I would. But I might at some point just because I like some of my Netflix.
Netflix? Okay. Yeah, I don't have Netflix, so we'll see.
Oh. But yeah, I didn't really like the ending. It's Norwegian too.
Is it in English though?
I mean, you can make it in English.
Oh.
But no, it is not normally in English.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I'm always down for stuff that's like.
Well, because me and Phil tried watching it in English, and we were sitting there watching it, and like.
It's just dubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like. They were like really quiet, even with the volume turned up, and as usual, you try to turn on the subtitles, and it's not matched up ever. So I just ended up turning off the English, keeping on the English subtitles, nothing them speaking. Their German variant. Norwegian.
Alright, so some other series that came out we can just briefly talk over. Black Mirror. You ever seen Black Mirror?
No, but I have heard of it.
These are cool shows. So it's kind of bordering nerdy stuff. It's sci-fi though.
Yeah, I who was telling me? I think Michael was telling me about how like it's like kind of trippy, and I played the interactive thing they had.
Oh yeah, okay.
I played a little bit of that. That was really trippy.
Yeah, that is
like
that. Trippy.
That like messed with my head.
Bandersnatch.
That sounds right.
Black Mirror Bandersnatch or something like that. Will Poulter is in that, also in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Super buff now.
Yep.
Yeah. So Black Mirror is like a show where they take these like I would say they're usually futuristic-ish, but it's like taking one piece, usually taking one piece of technology that we have now, amping it, cranking it to like 11, and then being like kind of weird thriller horror vibes about it. So I think there's one episode where they're like, everyone has a phone, right? And everyone is like super, it's basically just like Twitter, but like the amount of likes and stuff that you have is like giving you a number, and that number determines like your position in society. And like, so like,
you mean like it does now?
That's kind of the point of this show, is like taking these things and like throwing it in your face, like this is what it looks like from kind of the outside, you know. Yeah. We're living in it, where people are trying to get likes and stuff like that. Yeah. But the show is like kind of showing it like blatantly, like this is actually what it looks like, because you guys are depending on this number to put your place in society. So the episode anyway just goes through the scenario, I think, of someone, I can't remember exactly, but something happens where their number drops way down, and then they start getting treated like way differently. They used to be like, you know, influencer level person, and then, you know, just getting to see how other people are treated when you have lower numbers or whatever. Yeah. So that's kind of the situation. They get popular celebrities to do it. So here I'm just looking at kind of some of the celebrities who have done it now. I remember Miley Cyrus did one.
Yeah, I was looking through some photos from Peter Guy, and there was a few people on there that.
What's Bryce? What the hell is her name? She played Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3. I can't think of her name now.
I know.
Salma Hayek, Aaron Paul, Michael Cera are in the newest season that came out in June. So good stuff. Yeah, just go back and watch that. Just check it out. Okay. Aaron Paul plays Jesse.
Yep. Oh yeah, I saw that. That's who that picture I saw was. He's kind of like in a spacesuit looking thing.
And this is stuff that you can just pick episodes out and watch it. There's no continuity or anything. It's anthology type
like
of situation.
Love, Death and Robots.
Yes. Yep. Yep. That is good stuff too. The Walking Dead, Dead City. They got another damn spinoff for this Walking Dead.
They have 3 more coming out.
Yeah, whatever. This one is Maggie and Negan.
Yep. Then there's one with Daryl, and then there's one with.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know who that one was with. I want to say Carol and.
Oh yeah, Carol has a show coming out too.
The dude from like the way beginning of the show is in there too. The guy who saves him. I don't know if you've seen it.
Who saves who?
Rick. Like the very beginning of the show. The dude who saves him with the kid or whatever. And,
okay.
Yeah. Because I know he appears periodically through the show, and I'm pretty sure I've seen.
If they were going to do any spinoff, that would be a kind of cool spinoff to do. It's like, you've seen this guy in episode, you know.
Very first episode, then you've seen him 4 seasons later, and then.
Yeah. Give him a spinoff, because from them meeting up and that situation happening, how did his shit end up?
Not very good.
Yeah, mostly. The Witcher, season 3 came out. The final
that was good
season for Henry Cavill. I've not seen it. I again don't have Netflix currently, so.
Ooh, and I watched the other Witcher thing that came out with whatever the hell it is.
The little animated one.
No.
Oh.
The one where they go back to the conjunction.
Oh, yeah.
That one was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
That was a while ago.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, actually. That was like last year already. Holy fuck. So with some of the streaming things, and then we can go to the Disney Plus streaming, and we can talk a little bit about that stuff. Oh, One Piece is the other thing that came out.
That was good.
Yeah? You watching that? I was kind of teetered on the idea of getting into anime, and nothing has ever really caught my eye.
I would definitely watch One Piece
since the original days of Dragon Ball Z, and the less anime shows like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
Yeah.
I watched
but
those.
One Piece has some humor in it, but it can get very dark and serious.
Well, One Piece is one of the shows that I would watch.
I watched watching the animated version, and I blew through The live action.
When I was in Japan, I got an original One Piece manga.
Yep, I see it right there.
Up there on the top shelf. It's actually in Japanese, so you can't actually read it, but it's cool to look at. And it's in Japanese style book, so it's backwards.
And down, right?
No, because it's a manga, so it's panels like a comic book.
Okay.
But
well,
but you're still going backwards.
Yeah. Fucking right to left and shit.
Yeah. I hear that's pretty good. You know, there's people who are saying, but there's always gonna be people who say stuff about the adaptation.
They can fight a dick because the guy who created One Piece is like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm glad they did this. I'm glad they chose who they chose, and he's all for it.
And they can't do everything they do in anime, and they can't always just keep the same story if they want to try to get a new audience.
They definitely changed it.
Yeah.
From what I've seen from the anime, from the 30 episodes I've seen from right now to that, there's definitely things changed. But they also packed the first season of One Piece into one season there. In like a quarter of the episodes.
And I mean, that's what they're going to do, right? All these shows that are adaptations, or I've seen the other comparisons where Death Note and then the Dragon Ball. So first of all, the Dragon Ball movie was terrible. If you've ever seen it,
didn't even.
Don't waste your time.
Like a live action.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution. It's terrible. It's freaking terrible, bro. It's so bad. It is so bad. It's bad. Death Note, however, I never seen the anime Death Note. However, I really liked the movie.
Yeah, the live action movie. Yeah, I really liked it too. It got a lot of hate, and I was sitting here like, well, as someone who has never seen the show, I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, it's really messed up. Right. As you know, it is. I mean,
well, here's the thing about why they do that kind of stuff. They can't. Well, they don't want to. They don't want to just do a 1-for-1 all the time. And there's reasons for that. Sometimes the story that is in the anime isn't just generally likable. When they make these animes, they know that people who like anime are going to attempt to watch it and either latch on or not. Mm-hmm. But for someone like me, who doesn't usually watch anime, if I go and watch something like this One Piece show and I really like it, well, maybe I'm going to at least try to check out the other stuff. So then I become a consumer of the product and things like that, you know? And it kind of has to be like that, and that's just how it is. If you don't like the adaptation, the remake of the Death Note or the remake of the One Piece, then go back and watch the original anime, jackass. Yeah. Like you don't. No one told you had to come and watch this remake here that they did. So you know, it's not always going to be a 1-for-1. If you want a 1-for-1 redone anime, go watch the Pokemon Netflix, the Netflix Pokemon. First movie redo, where they just did the exact same movie just in updated CGI instead of the original anime version. If you're looking for an anime redo that's exactly the same as the thing that originally came out in the first place, then there you go. But they just can't do it every time. It's just not gonna work.
Part of the thing is that not everyone, most people don't want the same shit.
Right.
But I want that. We don't really care for that. That's also why I feel like part of the issue was with the Star Wars sequels. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
It's this hero.
Yeah, they tell the general same story.
They literally tell the first 3 movies all over again.
Yeah.
Just worse and
less the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
They're just worse and less liked and.
Yeah. It literally. Thank you. Had to see him.
Could have went in a whole different path, but they had to bring Palpatine. No, he's dead. He got his ass yeeted down the Death Star. Death Star blew up. Sure. You're dead. You're not surviving that. There's no way.
Sure.
That'd be like if they brought back Tarkin. No, bro. He's dead too. Come
on. I have a theory, and I'll share the theory that I've read about in our last few minutes. But I want to get through. I guess we're just talking about streaming and movies today because we're running out of time here. Next week we'll come back. We'll probably talk about some video games. Maybe it'll be games week. We'll just talk about video games. We'll see where we're at as far as Dungeons and Dragons. There's been a bunch of video games, so I'm sure we could fill a lot of time talking about video games. Baldur's Gate 3 came out. I could talk just days just on that alone. What else came out? Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
Survivor. Starfield came out. Something else came out that was big. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Dead Island.
Dead Island came out. Did the new Spider-Man come out too?
Not that I know. I don't know.
Spider-Man 2 for PS5. Yeah. We don't play Sony.
Yeah. Don't keep up with PlayStation. I don't play PlayStation.
Okay, so
more like PlayStation.
Disney Plus. Disney Plus streaming. A couple things we missed. Not a lot. They haven't had a lot of TV shows come out. I think before the last TV show that we have, the TV show before that was Miss Marvel. And so we missed Secret Invasion. I have not watched it.
I watched like the first few episodes of it, but I don't remember any of it.
Okay. So Secret Invasion is supposed to be a spy thriller close to the likes, they say, of Winter Soldier, where it's more like a little bit more intrigue, a little bit more spies, and also the non-superpowered portions of Captain Marvel movie, which you still have not seen.
Mm-hmm.
This guy. So yeah, it's based mostly around Nick Fury and the Skrulls, and we'll see if it leads up to these new movies, or if it has any implications on the world stuff, or if it's just one of these shows that they've been doing kind of where it's just like telling another story that's going on in the MCU, which I'm fine with. Not everything needs to necessarily 100% connect, you know. I do really like the Easter eggs and dimensions, but not everything needs to touch tips, so to speak. So I haven't seen it, but yeah, seems pretty good. The other big thing that's out right now is Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
You have not seen any of it.
Nope.
I've
seen clips here and there, and I've been avoiding them as much as possible.
Please avoid it. Just avoid it, please.
The things I haven't been able to avoid are bits of the fight with that Inquisitor dude, and her cutting the hole in the ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then obviously that I saw picture of Ezra.
That was leaked so early though, and we already knew that because there was a scene in Book of Boba, or in season 3 of The Mandalorian. There's a scene in one of those shows. You haven't seen either of those shows?
I have.
I
just don't know what
there's a scene in one of those shows where there's a hollow and it's Ezra.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
faintly, but I remember that.
Yeah. So we already knew we were gonna run into him here. But yeah, Ahsoka is essentially just Rebels. You said season 5.
Yep.
They did season 4, so it's essentially season 5, just more centered on Ahsoka. I think a little bit. Well, I guess I won't even say that. It's really just Rebels season 5
because they Sabine's in there.
Yeah, they jump around to all these characters, and it's not even really 100% focused on.
I'm waiting for Zeb to come back.
If
they haven't made an appearance with him yet, again.
You know about the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In season 3, Mando.
Yep.
But that was it.
Okay. As long as you know about that one. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see going forward. I think we got 2 more episodes here. It's been excellent so far.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
We're going into something else. I don't know what the next show is, but there's only 2 more episodes, and I don't see the story being completed in these next 2 episodes. So there's either going to be like Ahsoka season 2.
Disney. You'll never know it then.
I don't know. If they've
people have been saying that
if they wrap this up in 2 more episodes,
I feel like it would
be crazy.
I hope they might just retcon the sequel trilogy.
Okay, I'm gonna get to that. I'll get to that.
And then they just go into...
That's my last thing at the end of the episode that I want to talk about. So we'll get to that in a second.
The Empire.
We'll get to that in a second. So watch Ahsoka. It's super good. I think it's really what we've been waiting for. It's, you know, we've been watching The Mandalorian for the last few years, and we all love it. And I think the reason they wanted to do The Mandalorian and this kind of just like silhouette man of this like, you know, cowboy dude in the Star Wars universe is to bring us back into Star Wars storytelling slowly over time, so we can have this. The show is epic, bro. You just need to go and watch it. I'm tempted to just like sit down with you and watch the whole thing, because it's peak Dave Filoni. Mm-hmm. It's like peak Dave Filoni. The chills I get when I would watch when I watched Avatar a couple years ago when it came out on Netflix again, and I was rewatching it, and the chills I was getting as I understood more of it as an adult. This show is crazy. It's the references, we're hitting everything. It's peak. I can't say too much more because then I'll just be spoiling it, but it's good. A bunch of the Rebels characters are in it. You obviously already know Ezra, Sabine, are in it. Chopper, yep. It's mostly based around Ahsoka, but it's also not. Like, I say that and then small spoiler, there's like whole sections of episodes, if not whole episodes, where it's just like we don't even
see her.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. So like I said, it's more Rebels season 5 than really anything, and I would be super surprised if we finish it up in two episodes.
Because this takes place during the New Republic.
This is literally like
the end of the Empire.
We have not gone into New Republic.
Okay.
Yet. Or no, we are in New Republic. We're still in the same timeline as Mandalorian.
Okay.
In Book of Boba. The last time we seen Ahsoka, this is like basically right after that.
Okay.
After she gets the message after she gets the Ezra message that we see, this is essentially like right after that. So
okay. Still
in that time frame before we get. You said New Republic. We have the New Republic. The First Order is what I was thinking. We don't have First Order. We have the New Republic currently, and that's kind of what we're dealing with. So still in that same time period. All right, so we're gonna close the show out here, but we're gonna talk about this theory that you briefly touched on, which is the exact theory that I think that they're trying to do here. So, as we know, at the end of Rebels, I actually haven't seen all of Rebels. I've only seen up to halfway through second season. But I know that at the end or near the end, they go away. I'm going to say that loosely before we spoil things. Okay.
The very last episode, I'm pretty sure.
So they spit out like hyperspace. They go like...
God knows where.
Yeah. We don't even actually know. Yeah, that's the thing. Is we don't actually know.
They were snatched up by the space whales and they were gone.
Okay. So they got taken far, far, far away. So the theory is that, without a lot of spoilers, is that in this far, far away place is where this whole new kind of universe is going to continue to take place.
Yeah, can I pop in here?
Yeah,
so what I'm thinking is that maybe they went to the unknown regions. Because do we know exactly what happened with Ezra yet?
In the show, yes.
So we know it. Okay. Because what I was thinking is that they ended up in the unknown regions, which is where the Chiss are actually from.
Continue.
And they can't be... It's not easy to navigate the unknown regions, even with them being there. And they need Force users to guide them through the unknown regions. And I'm thinking that's how they got back one way or another.
Back to where?
To the normal galaxy.
Okay.
Out of the unknown regions.
Sure.
Because that's because they actually go there in Rebels. They go to the unknown regions because of Zeb's species. They find a couple more of them, and they have to take them to their new home because they were slaughtered and massacred,
hunted. Okay, so I'm gonna not do spoilers. I'm just gonna speak in general terms and on the theory that I've seen. So, basically, it's almost exactly what you said. So essentially, let's picture two galaxies, right? Here's our Star Wars galaxy.
Yep.
This is where everything is taking place.
Yep.
Everything is canonical up until Ahsoka. We will dismiss currently the sequel trilogies. They are still canonical, but we are just going to say they haven't happened in our timeline currently. So in this other galaxy where where Ezra and Thrawn are supposedly thrown into this other galaxy is where supposedly the theory is that we're going to go to this other galaxy because Ezra sent his message in whatever show that was. I don't even remember.
I think it's Mandalorian. I don't see why it would pop up in Boba.
Well, a lot of weird stuff happened in the middle of Book of Boba.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian showed up and he got a muscle car. He showed up and he got his muscle car in the middle of the Book of Boba.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Darksaber scenes all happened. Him practicing with the Darksaber all happened in the middle of the Book of Boba. Yeah. That was a little. It was all over the place. I think. Well, we got scenes of Ahsoka in Book of Boba. We got him, her, and Luke when they were doing the that all happened in the Book of Boba. Anyway.
Book of Boba. More like Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, it really was. Like so much of the stuff. Anyway, so we have these two galaxies. Ezra and Thrawn supposedly went over to this other galaxy that we don't. It's in the unknown regions. It's out past our known galaxy. So the theory is that we go out there to Ezra because of his message, and we try to find him, and then whatever happens, for some reason we need to assemble. Avengers assemble, and we end up taking numerous of these known characters. If the Mandalorian is one or not, I don't know. I don't think he would be, but we take some of these known characters. Maybe Grogu goes with. Who knows? And they all go out.
Grogu with Luke, just saying.
Well, right, but Luke is in canonical sequel trilogies. So I'll finish the theory. So the theory is that all these characters that are showing up that we know, that basically anyone that's not in the sequel trilogy goes to this other galaxy, and then this just becomes the Filoniverse essentially, and we just have this galaxy over here where things are happening in this galaxy over here. Well, if things continue on this,
why we don't see everyone else.
Yeah, and then everything happens in this galaxy and continues on through the sequel trilogies. Because they are still canonical currently. There's been petitions online and stuff, so we'll see what happens in the future. I doubt it though, because Disney. And yeah, so Luke is stuck in this one. We get all Han and Leia are all in this in the sequel trilogies in this galaxy over here. Well, we're taking Ahsoka and our Grogu. I don't know if the Mandalorian would come with, but our whatever rebel characters we have left over in this galaxy, and this becomes a different
everyone but Kanan.
And this becomes our little shows and stuff. We can keep running shows over in this universe and kind of doing whatever we want over in this far away
just
galaxy.
Trying to give them an excuse, because that's why I think when they made Rogue One, because before that I don't think we knew what happened to the planet or where the Death Star plans came from in A New Hope, because they just kind of start us off with, they have these plans, which is why that's why I'm saying that I think they just killed everyone off in Rogue One, so they don't need to give an excuse as to why they're not in the actual show.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're running into, right? Is this continuation of is this continuation of characters that we are introducing in these new things and these spin-offs and stuff that are fitting in our timeline but then don't show up. That the original person to originally do that, and we're back to her, is Ahsoka. Because we created her between the second and third movie, which were already released, but then never mentioned her in the third movie.
Yeah. At all,
So
which I do feel like is kind of a fail.
Yeah.
Because
well,
it's not like they brought up him having an apprentice at all. They're just They just straight up don't. I don't know. It's all very, very confusing.
Yeah. Well, and that's why they came back with Clone Wars Season 7, so that they could insert some of these scenes that are actually happening at the same time as Revenge of the Sith. Yes.
And give a reason as to
yeah,
where she is, what she's doing.
Yeah. And so I think that's what we're gonna try to do, because right now we can't do anything. We're stuck. We can go back in time, which we already plan on doing with, I think, 2 different products. Well, we already have one. The High Republic is already at comic books and stuff like that, but there's supposedly supposed to be movies taking place during that time. There's the Acolyte, which we still don't have full details on. But
yeah, we know nothing about that, do we?
I think we looked at the timeline one time, and we figured out it should be taking place around the time.
Oh yeah, because we're thinking Plagueis and
young
Sidious.
Palpatine, or if not right before that, or otherwise it's Plagueis and his master. Otherwise, but it is right before.
Yeah, because they've been real tight-lipped on that.
Yeah, we haven't really had any other information.
And I think that's also mainly because of the writer's strike too.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's all pushed back. I'm not super pressed for it or anything. They got to do what they need to do.
They're coming out with the new Visions, I think, sometime soon.
Well, yeah, we had a second one already. The second season came out already.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yep, that happened. But yeah, so like I was saying, we can keep going back in time. We can keep inserting stuff in between, but it's got to be like Andor level stuff, because it can't be these big things, because otherwise it ripple effects and affects everything else.
Yeah, because like you take a look at it, that and then everything else, you're like, but that goes there, but that doesn't fit there.
That's why we're playing.
Supposed to fit there, but it doesn't. And
that's why we're playing in this little position between Episode 6 and Episode 7, is because Episode 7 doesn't reference a lot of anything. There's not a lot of lore at all compared to like the other.
That's because most of the people are dead.
Well, yeah. Well, and they tried to make it for a new generation of people, and people before that, us and older people, wanted more lore in our sequel trilogy, or not our sequel trilogy, original trilogy and prequel trilogy, and now there's nothing in this sequel trilogy. So anyway, going in between this little area here is we can play with stuff that we're super familiar with, Rebels and Luke and stuff, before we get to this age of having to lose a bunch of our iconic people. And if they go into the future, I mean, they could do whatever they want, literally, in the future. Like, Dave Filoni could create any show out of thin air. But he's trying to play with the characters that we know and like.
Which is nice, but at the same time, which is why I liked Andor so much. It's because we didn't know nothing about him. They threw him in Rogue One. They were like, here's this guy, no backstory. He's going to kill this chick's father. Yeah. He's going to do what now?
Yeah. He's like, he's this like agent, basically. Yeah. That's pretty much all we knew.
Super serial.
I really liked Andor, and I hope that we do kind of more stuff like that.
I hope we see Andy Serkis again.
Oh, yeah. Andy Serkis is fantastic.
I do love that. I was really into that prison system. Was interesting. They just control everything.
I want more. Let's dig into that lore. Is the coming of the Empire?
Yeah,
I love that. Like, where do we transition?
Like, because you cannot tell me that there was definitely no opposition right away. You cannot tell me that people weren't like, oh no, this is not happening.
Well, yeah. So yeah, I want to see like what happened right after Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Give us a show like right after that.
Yeah. I want to see them be like, oh, we slaughtered all the Jedi, and everybody. Some people are like, yeah. Then other people are like, ah.
I just need a show called like Clones or Stormtroopers, because I want to see the transition.
It's called like
between from the clones to kidnapping children to create our personal military, based off of the previous military. Like, where do these clones go? Like, how did we get rid of them? Did we just start mass slaughtering and then recruiting children, stealing children from people's families?
Well, see, that wasn't always how it worked, though, with the clones. A lot of them are not the clones, the stormtroopers. Like, we see it in Solo that a lot of times it's people that are just signing up.
Yeah. I have not seen Solo, actually. That's one of the movies I haven't seen.
Oh, you should definitely watch that then.
Yeah, maybe that's...
Paul makes an appearance.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, maybe that's some of the...
Pretty late appearance.
Maybe that's some of the pieces that I'm missing. But
yeah, because he becomes like
I know they do
trooper.
I know they do signing up. I guess I'm thinking First Order, they steal children for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're definitely kidnapping children for that.
Yeah. So yes, so the Empire comes in and starts recruiting people. Recruit. I'm gonna write it. Dave Filoni, do it. The recruit. It's just showing someone going from.
Yeah. Well, because they kind of show it in the Bad Batch too. They kind of show the filtering out of the armors and the people.
I guess that's true. That is true. That is kind of.
Because then everyone because all the clones are like, well, what the fuck's happening to us? Like we were literally made, bred, and trained for this, and you were throwing us out for these civilians who know nothing about war. We literally just fought in a 3-year war against droids. Like, we know what we're doing. We were made by...
So I guess they are kind of doing it. I need to step back and look at the shows a little bit more.
But I also don't like how they just kind of just offed the Kaminoans. Like, there was no real, like...
Oh.
Because, like, if you play the original Battlefront game, you go in there and you kill them.
Yeah.
You run through it all and you just...
Yeah.
It's clones on clones. But how they did in the Bad Batch is like, yeah, let's just aerial bombard this place and sink it.
Oh, it's a cartoon. They don't want to do too much, just like gratuitous violence.
Like that. Okay, no. Go back and watch Clone Wars again. There's literally a scene where
that's fair.
Grievous steps on a dude's head. And you just hear,
that's fair.
And you just see Obi-Wan's face go. They literally cut somebody in half as well.
That's true. They do some wild shit.
No, you want to talk about senseless violence? Or how about the false surrendering war crime that Anakin committed? I wish to surrender. Oh. Well, that wasn't seen. Go get the commando tactical droid. That's a trap. Gets pulled, sliced, and then like
that's true.
100 jet troopers.
The amount of war crimes in Clone Wars is
ridiculous. It's not even like
it's top notch. Well, we could go on about Star Wars all day. We'll have a Star Wars episode of Nerd Talks
talking about a lot of war crimes
soon. Maybe after Ahsoka we'll have an episode and we'll just talk about where we are currently. Maybe I'll watch Solo. I get caught up on Bad Batch. That's a lot of TV to watch, but well, Bad Batch episodes are only still 20 or 30 minutes, right? They're like regular cartoon time shows. I would assume. I'll check it out. We'll see what's going on with Star Wars, and then maybe we'll have a Star Wars episode sooner than later. After Ahsoka wraps up here in just a little over a week and a half. And I think we're gonna call it for today. So subscribe. If you're watching this later, it's gonna be the VOD. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell. You'll be notified when we go live next week, 11 o'clock. Sundays at 11 o'clock. Try to end around noon. We went a little long today for our premiere, season premiere episode. We did it a little long. But that's okay. Like I said, catch us next time. Peace.
Deuces.